Yes, absolutely. I'm just starting the recording, ma'am. Yeah. So guys, this is Dr. Prashant Chaudhary from Symbiosis Skills and Professions Study Pune. We warmly welcome Ms. Sona Nambiar ma'am for this session. Ma'am, I welcome you on behalf of School of Retail Management of Symbiosis Skills and Professional University. So guys, before starting the session, I would like to introduce Sona ma'am with all of you. Sona Nambiar ma'am, she is the founder and editor at large at Kimia Technologies, FZCO, a solution-focused boutique editorial consultancy. She is also research contributor with the Dubai Future Foundation. She has worked with brands like Thomson Reuters, the Business World, Free Press Group, Gulf Daily, Gulf News, CPI Media, Gulf Research Center, and Dubai Media Incorporated, among others. So she has extensive experience into this particular domain. She is also the member of Dubai Startup Hub Show. She is very much active in entrepreneurial activities there at Dubai. Gulf Israel Women's Forum and Photo Walk Connect alumni. Recently, she has been invited as the guest speaker at the first Dubai Silicon Oasis Authority DSOA, which was a virtual engagement webinar. Sona speaks five languages, which is, ma'am, this is really very impressive. She speaks English, Marathi, Malayalam, Hindi, and Urdu as well. And she also knows the basics of Arabic language. Now, of course, knowing all these languages gives her an additional edge in understanding and bringing the cultural sensitivities to her projects that she is working upon. She has studied the filmmaking and photography also, and her personal passion is to create 1 minute video series. So, ma'am, we are very much privileged to have you here on this platform, and we welcome you once again. And now I hand over the entire session to this guys to you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So good afternoon, everyone. I would say the bad thing about a webinar guest lecture is that it makes you think harder on how to talk, to an audience that you can't see. And especially if it's a lunchtime, because I know it's lunchtime in India. And the good thing about webinar talks is that you can't see your audience, so you can't blame them for stage fright. So 2021 is the year that I have started experimenting with speaking in public. And I really wish to thank Dr. Prashant for taking, from what was, I call a virtual connection on LinkedIn across 2 countries during a pandemic, all the way to inviting me to speak today at Symbiosis. I have not given a guest lecture. Being from the media and being an editor, my background has been very different. Editors are usually dealing with strategy on a very large scale and running news desks, running the magazine, running the online desk. And they are not used to actually speaking in public. But last year, the pandemic made me realize after I set up my company, it's now the 5th year, that I have to change my whole approach to the way I look at my business and the way I deal with my clients. And I have linked it to a retail case study that I was involved with a retail client to show you that, content strategy, how it will be important for you going forward in terms of digital transformation. Because when you go forward and start working in the retail world, you will need to have like a very strong focus on how you communicate with the rest of the world. Because as you know, everyone's following the hybrid model. You have the traditional brick and mortar store, and you have online, which is the Amazon and Flipkart, and India has a lot more options. Here we have our own called soup.com and the rest. So today is for me like a first on many fronts. Since I set up as an entrepreneur, I have over 2 decades in journalism, where I have I have been in leadership roles as a launch editor for 3 online portals and 2 architecture magazines before I set up Kimia, my own solutions firm. So I started my career first as a researcher in an ad agency in Bombay. I speak Marathi. Though I'm a Malayali who grew up in Bombay, I still speak Marathi. मी आता सुद्धा मराठी बोलते आणि माझी मराठी इतकं चांगलं नाही पण मी बोलू शकते. So this is just to make all of you at ease. This is not going to be one of those boring lectures. I come from journalism, which is traditionally a very crazy setup, and you have to be agile and adjusting on a day-to-day basis. So when I started my career first as a researcher in an ad agency in Bombay, before it changed to Mumbai, my second job was at Free Press Group with Onlooker magazine. This was a political fortnightly magazine that was very bold in its approach and I think very successful because the editor used to spend a lot more time attending court cases despite the low circulation because it's a very bold magazine, very bold. Mentioning the places I worked is very relevant to today's topic because I have worked in print, then I worked online, and now I can create a film on my iPhone using iMovie for editing. तो मैं ये कहना चाहती हूँ कि जितना आप फ्लेक्सिबल हो जाओ अपनी दुनिया में योर एटीट्यूड टू थिंग्स यू आर गोइंग टू रियली चेंज इन द वे यू डील विथ your career or entrepreneurship if you look at exploring that role. So the only reason I survived is that I have seen several changes in the media industry. I've learned to adapt on the go as the industry makes you very agile. Plus working in Bahrain, I moved next to, first I worked in Bombay, then I went to Bahrain and last UAE, where I'm living since 1992. So when you lived in 3 countries and you've worked in, different publishing houses and you've worked in different kinds of mediums and formats, it makes you stay on your toes and basically agile. And today the key word is agility. You have to have agility if you wish to go forward. And in journalism, you never have a dull moment because with news, you have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. And people have, what you call the attention span of a fly. So let me take you through my journey right now. So please let me know, Dr. Prashant, if you can see me.
Yeah, sure, ma'am.
Is it
sharing the
visible?
screen?
Yeah.
Not yet, ma'am. Just a second. No, not yet.
Okay, could you, because I'm trying to present and it's not.
Okay.
I have your entire screen, a window and a tab. So,
so you can just go to a window and from there you can share your screen, ma'am.
Can you see it now? Yes. Can you see it?
Just a second. Let me just check. Yeah. I have already allowed you to share the screen, but I don't know. Yeah. Now it is coming. Yeah.
Okay, great.
Now we can see it. Yeah.
Okay, great. So this is what I would wish to speak about. Why staying agile helps you ride the next disruption. Lessons learned in 2020 and how you turn threats to opportunities. So all of you are familiar with the word jugaad, which is a very Indian term and actually made it to one of the dictionaries. In Malayalam, there's a word called tattikootu. And I was looking up business agility in other languages, other words, and life hacking. In French, it's actually called System D and Uruwaza in Japanese. And it's called Jua Kali in Kenya. So there's apparently a term for agility or jugaad or, the way you shift with the way things shift. Of course, there's also the illegal way, but best not to go down that path. This is my journey for the last 2 decades in media across 3 countries. So these are the formats that I've worked on. And the reason, again, I'm emphasizing this is why all of you need to look at reinventing yourself on a constant basis and be open to change. because when you're open to change, you'll be able to adapt to not just the pandemic right now, but to your sector, which is undergoing a lot of disruption, because malls are seeing very low footfall. A lot of shopping is done online. So when you go forward, to set up your career, you would be asking yourself these questions. So I worked for two newspapers. I worked for a weekly, I worked in the fortnightly mode, I worked monthly, quarterly, online, and mobile. And this is my journey, which Dr. Prashant has already said. So you can go to my LinkedIn profile. I don't want to go into this anymore. In 2016, I established my company, Kimia, in Dubai Silicon Oasis. Now, the reason we also have a free zone here called Dubai Media City, and we have Dubai Internet City. The reason why I chose Dubai Silicon Oasis is that I felt I wanted to be in a place where people are speaking about AI, blockchain, IoT, so that even if I didn't have that background, when I'm with people and they're speaking about it, they're having conferences and events. So I've like attended an SAP design thinking workshop. I've attended Microsoft events. So what is happening is what I say, through osmosis, I'm picking up. So be very open to osmosis around you. So why I set up Kimia? I've been a launch editor where I have set up as part of the core team, 3 B2B portals. Now, the reason why I'm saying B2B portals is B2B is a very different audience from B2C. And in B2B, you have to be really focused, not just focused, you have to ensure return on investment. So at the end of each month, when we finished the magazine, though I did not, compromise on editorial integrity, I had to sit with the sales team, the subscription team, the events team, the IT, and they would tell me how the magazine fared. It was similar in Thomson Reuters, where I worked last. I was Xavier Projects editor for Middle East and North Africa. Plus, I worked with the team. We were told every month, the analytics, how many stories were read from which countries. And this was much before Google Analytics really became popular. I'm talking about from 2013. So my focus has been strategy and content creation. And I carried that over to my new company, which is what I'm helping clients with, strategy and content. So I've done 4 websites. One is semi-government, a fintech entity, a solar company, which is Total Solar, and a quantity surveyor. This is what I do in content creation. First, have discovery sessions and then create trend newsletters, research reports, blogs, books for Amazon. So these are things that you need to look at, because in future you will be working with marketing teams or editorial consultants when you work in retail. These are the solutions that I offer, which I now tell people it's hybrid. I meet people in person, but when it's not possible nowadays, I have online sessions. I do developmental editing, which is no content creation or strategy, just edit. And here I do a lot of research checking, just like you do your research papers or thesis. I also do content audit, which is a gap, between, say, the old website and the new website and what is missing, because gap analysis is important to every sector. You can never take anything for granted. These are my networks: Dubai Silicon Oasis, Dubai Future Foundation, I'm a research contributor, Dubai Startup Hub, and the Gulf Israel Women's Forum. So as you know, the Gulf region in UAE and Bahrain has recently signed a peace treaty with Israel, and things have been changing a lot. So I'm part of this forum, which is actually a WhatsApp group, but it's full of business women. These have been my clients since I started: the government of Dubai, Ajman Tourism. This is FinTech Galaxy. This was my biggest project, Abu Dhabi Ports. I've done Total Solar Middle East, the website, through an agency. APCO has been my client for trend reports. And this is Delu Middle East. Around March 2020, I started asking myself, where is the real value to my clients? Because the pandemic had kind of just started, and people were getting nervous. But in March, we went into lockdown, and I was doing a lot of soul searching because I had finished 3 years of my consultancy. So I was like, what is the direction I take? Because I was working on very, very large projects, but I felt something was really missing in my life. And this is what I want to talk about. I've had various periods in my career where I have realized that I needed to shift my mindset. And that is what agility is all about. So when you go into setting up your own business or you go into a career, you need to look out for these, what I call signs on the wall, which warn you of things to come. And it's the professional who looks at that shift and adapts is the one who will go past that wave, or you'll be left behind. So I know this sounds really ancient to you, but in Arab Medium Forum 2005, there is a newspaper in Saudi called Arab News, and they have a very a forward-thinking editor. He's now working for another publishing company, Khalid Al Maina, and he warned us of citizen journalism and fake news. And he said that, we as journalists, we research, we verify facts, we publish, we speak to two people, we get both sides of the story. Because of Twitter and other, what you say, online platforms that would come, he kept telling us about, how fake news will become more famous. And 2005 or 6, how fake news will get more, people start believing in that, and how we really have to think about how we address things. Then in 2010, the paper that I worked with at Dubai Media Inc., it closed down. The paper went online, and all of us business editors, we lost our jobs. So in that gap period, I started learning filmmaking and photography formally. Then in 2016, when I lost my job at Thomson Reuters, again, it was a global layoff. I thought, I don't want to go back to working. I want to be my own boss. And you will come across these scenarios in your life where you'll be at crossroads, and you need to see what decision you take at that point in time. And, do some good soul searching, and you will know which is the way to go. The other thing is, I started learning how to edit on iMovie in 2017. I noticed that Instagram had this possibility just to create 1-minute stories. So earlier, my idea of filmmaking here was, you make documentaries, because my long-term dream is to be a filmmaker. And I thought that I'm going to make these large-scale documentaries. And then I was like, how do I put this on Instagram? So I started experimenting, and eventually I learned how to edit on iMovie. So when my daughter finished her driving class and she came back and said, I failed, I told her, you know what, I've learned how to create an iMovie on my phone. So it's a big thing for someone who's, been so many years in the profession. The more I learn to adapt and change myself, the more I enjoy not just my work, but also my life and the way I communicate. I have also been learning on Udemy, a lot on YouTube, Coursera, edX, because I like this open university, massive open online courses. I like these concepts. And since I don't have to study for exams, I love to study now because there's no exam fear. However, I would say that get the certificates for credibility and also basic structure to empower others. Because we can't all be Oprah Winfrey or Gary Vee. We may all not set up Facebook. So these are my content experiments. The cameras I use are Canon, iPhone Plus, Sony RX105 and GoPro. The reason why I'm saying this is, and I'll show you the videos, they're both 1 minute. Prashant, you need to tell me if you can't see them when I start, okay? So can you hear me?
Sure, ma'am. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so the reason why I put all the list of my cameras is, I want to tell you that your gear is not important, but it's what you do with your skills and your creativity. So I would switch back and forth depending on what was with me, because one of the photography classes I attended, they said the best camera is the one with you, which means that you may be in a situation, you see something you want to film, maybe your Canon is not with you. I have a Canon 60, I have prime lenses, but the iPhone 7 Plus and a lot of iPhones, I love the phone, so I can't give it up. A lot of iPhones after this have 4K mode. And if you see NDTV, they shoot on Samsung again 4K mode. So you should be open to innovation. And this is the reason why I'm saying that I use all these different cameras. So I'm not hung up on the camera. I'm hung up more on, what I deliver and what you would enjoy watching. So this is the first one. I had gone to Sri Lanka for a filming workshop, and a GoPro at that time had given me a GoPro to review. So I told them I'm going, and I'm not an influencer. I'm what I call a nano influencer on Instagram. But GoPro said, take it, and whatever you do with it, just hashtag us. So I felt really great that camera companies have started trusting me with their cameras. Now this video, I actually shot it on the go. So we were coming back from Novara Ilia, and there was this flower seller who was trying to sell his bunch of flowers. So I'm going to start this, and Prashant, just tell me, can you see it?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. Just
Okay, great.
start the video, then we can just, or you can just take the print, copy the link, and then you can just
Can
run
you
it
see
from the
this?
YouTube. Yeah,
Yeah.
we can see the slide now.
Okay. Can you see the video?
No, ma'am, not yet.
Okay. So, which is the way that I can do this? I'm on
I think
YouTube right
you
now.
will have to close this and then on it with that window
So
option,
I'll open
present
a new
window option.
window.
Yes.
Uh,
So you will have
uh,
to close this presentation.
just
Oh,
close
okay.
this, ma'am, and the
Okay.
third option, a tab. You can just go to a tab
Ah,
wala
yes.
option.
You explained to me yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah. The third wala, a tab, and from a tab you can open it through YouTube also. That will be better.
Hold on. I'm gone back to you are presenting.
Now you can just stop presenting first of all.
Okay.
You just stop presenting.
Okay. Right. And then go
Wonderful.
to a tab.
A tab, okay,
Right.
uh,
And
and then you can show the video from. Now, are you going to run the video from YouTube or what? From your screen?
okay, I can run it from YouTube. I can do it right away.
No problem, no
There
problem.
it
Or
is. Yeah.
otherwise, you can directly go to that
Yeah,
file
it
and you
is.
can.
Can you see it?
Not yet.
Can you see my screen? No.
No, not it, not it.
Okay, do one thing then. I will.
Okay, guys, just wait for some time. I think there might be some technical problem. She will join shortly.
Sorry, I got bumped off. Prashant,
Yeah.
do you want to put up the screen? I think it's easier you do it.
No problem. So have you shared that links with me? The video links?
Yeah, the video links are in my presentation.
It is in your presentation. No, but I will not be able to because that is in PDF format, na? Let me just
So,
check
no,
it.
but it is hyperlinked. I've
Hyperlink.
actually hyperlinked it. If you
Let me
want, I
check.
can send it. Yeah, it is all hyperlinked. In fact, I spent a lot of time today
No
doing
problem.
that.
No problem. Just let me check whether I can just do it.
So the first one is
Yeah, just a second. I can do it, ma'am. I think. Just a
okay.
second.
You can.
Yeah. I will do it from my side. Just a second.
Sorry, guys. Are you able to, Prashant, or I can just send it to you?
I don't
Or I
know,
can
but
send it
when
to you
I'm
on WhatsApp.
no, ma'am, that will not work now because then I will have to take it on my mail.
Okay. Which is the other way that I can do it? This is actually a good.
Okay, okay.
Ma'am,
Just let me.
directly you can on the YouTube, you can share the tab and you can on the video.
Exactly, ma'am. You
Okay,
can do that.
so
Hmm.
okay, so I have now got into YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Just
On
go to the search bar and put the link there. Go to the video.
Okay, can you see this one right now?
you will have to share the screen, ma'am. Tab. Share the
Okay,
tab.
hold on. Okay, that
Go
is the
through
thing I
or
don't know.
yeah. Go through or tab wala option, and then you can
Okay,
just
okay,
select.
okay.
Then it will.
Yes, you had shown
Uh,
that to me yesterday.
yeah.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember. So present now a tab, yes.
Mhm.
But it doesn't let me go beyond that.
No, is that showing you different windows, ma'am? In
Yeah, it's
which
showing me. Yes, I've got it. I've got it. I've got it. Yes,
just
I
click
got it.
on that YouTube wala link, YouTube
There
wala
you go.
window.
Can you see this now?
Yeah,
Okay, great.
not yet, but okay. No, then select it, ma'am. Once you tab on it, select it. Yeah,
Sharing the.
now we can see it. Perfect.
You can see it? Okay, great.
Yes, absolutely.
Great. So this is a 1 minute video that I said. The reason I shot this is also to show the theme of perseverance because this guy taught me a lot. I do not suggest that any of you do this in life, but he taught me a lot about perseverance on that particular day. And like I said, I use GoPro and I was filming it on the go. So GoPro is a really good camera. Like I'm a big fan of it now. So here's the video. So we saw this guy when we are driving down. So see, he comes up the first time and he tries to sell us the flowers. But we just kept driving on. And then we went round the curve and this guy had come down again. So he wasn't stopping. He just kept sliding down the mountain. Can you see him again here on the left? So that was him. And I'll get back to my slide. I think probably I'll just stick to the presentation. I think the video
Yes.
links I can send later. That's not a big issue. So there was another one that I did, which is Rains in Kerala. I'll send it and you guys can look at it. So again, I experimented with mixed media, which is video and photography. So these are the communication challenges that people started having. And as I was talking to clients during lockdown, I noticed something common to all of them. They were people who are very good at making money. They were people who are very good at being leaders. They're people who are very good at being employees, but they did not have a digital strategy. So a lot of people, they talk of digital transformation, but it's very sad that a lot of senior management do not understand digital. And the younger generation, like the millennials and even Gen Z and the above generation, they are not so used to using it for sole business purposes. So I started seeing that, some people were publishing using standard templates. So these are the questions that I started asking clients. Are you publishing using standard templates? So today, if you go to Canva and you know how to pick up designs, you can actually publish. You don't need a designer, but that's a standard template. You need to customize what you do. The next question I asked them is, are you sending 2-year-old content to new inquiries? So people had probably launched 2 years ago or even 5 years ago, and they were still sending the same brochures with the salespeople to the new inquiries. The other thing that happened is work from home and social distancing. So a lot of sales team couldn't meet the clients. And like I asked them, do you meet them? They said, no, we are not meeting them. The other thing is your vision and mission statement, which is crucial to most companies. And I would ask them, are you the same firm you started as? And it was always, no, we have grown, we've added more teams. No, this is not what we believe in anymore. So this is what I would like to tell all of you, that think where you are and reassess everything on a continuous basis to be agile. The next question is, people don't want to do digital transformation is because they're scared they'll run out of ideas. So they're like, no, if we start this, then who's going to do this content regularly? And the other thing is, stakeholders got remote. So I asked people, are you communicating mixed messages? So where do the solutions lie? Your solution always lies with the stakeholder, and you will notice this when you go for internship or you work with a company tomorrow, that this is how you stakeholders are driven. And remember these buckets. The first is at the owner level. So they're the founders, partners, investors. And then you have internal, which is you as an employee, vendors, suppliers. These are stakeholders because they work with you on a constant basis. If your business does well, they do well. So it is, a mutual ecosystem. The next is external, which is your clients, the creditors, competition, government and media, because changes that happen at a political level always affect business. So you need to be aware of all your stakeholders, and you need to create relationships. And you need the media, of course, because when you get famous, you need the media. So you need to cultivate good relationships. And the last is social, which is family and community. So we think that, oh, it does not matter, but they are the people who matter the most. Because suppose you do well and you share something on WhatsApp in your family group, not just your parents, but your proud uncles, aunts, cousins, they share with other people. So though you underestimate these people as emotional stakeholders, I'd call them, they have a very big role. Similarly, I don't know, when you live in building, you are building WhatsApp groups, you have college WhatsApp groups. So the community is also very important to you. And these are things that you should remember when you communicate today. So this is a 3-step agility formula for ROI. ROI is important because to me, I worked on a B2B media experience. So like I said, at the end of the month, we were told, and I'm talking of like 2006 and 2001, that, our target is $30,000 or $40,000, whatever the publisher had put for that month. We've not met it. So it's a wake-up call, like, it's a big reality check. So what you need to do is, the formula that I use is, first is discovery, where you brainstorm, you research, and you test for pain points. The next is incubate, where you do the alpha beta testing. It's like if you make a new dish, you would try with your friends and neighbors. So it's similarly if you're in retail or in any other sector. This is like across any sector that you work. And the last is laser focus. What do you communicate and how to communicate it? You have to always remember this, because you may have a great product, but if you don't know how to communicate, or a great service and you don't know how to communicate, you're not going to reach anywhere. So the next stage I came to is that I need to understand my client's client, which so the media focus is always the reader. So if I'm working for a publisher, I don't look at the publisher as my boss or my client. My focus is, will someone read it? And this is a chart that I found at comamarketing.com. You can also check it up. This is the kind of information that readers want, whether it's marketing material, editorial, and it's the same across board. Does your content speak to specific needs or pain points? Does it provide product service specifications? Is it more educational than promotional nature? Because people don't want promo, they're getting it from the ads. So you see the subtle difference. You're not trying to sell them something. Shows me how others have benefited in some way by using the product or service. These are now on the lower scale. Helps me build a business case for the product, is professionally presented. So this is everyone's client journey from 2020 onwards. People at the crossroads, they are facing business disruption, career shift, they are digitally unsure, they are overwhelmed by technology because every day it's like, oh, this AI has come, it will take over your jobs. So people are facing overwhelm. And social media makes you pay to be visible while changing algorithms. So you have to keep paying all the time. Issues are how to balance, should you be casual on your professional profile like LinkedIn, or should you be formal on your website? You have a lot of online courses that teach basics to professionals, which people don't want. Professionals may pay for a 6-month digital transformation course but drop out because they have deadlines. This is the day. People are now working from home, online schooling, college, hybrid meetings, cancelled meetings, travel at standstill, and mental wellness is a big issue. So my solution at this point was, I would now like to work directly with business leaders and owners instead of working with large corporates. Hello? Yeah. So what I came up with was a boot camp in digital, which would help clients to self-publish within 1, 2, or 3 months, content that impacts, get advocacy and ROI. So this is how your clients will be even in future, because I've done a lot of study on this. 70% of clients are fickle. They'll ditch for a discount. 15% are advocates who love your vision. 10% are curious, or they may advocate you secretly, but they may not come out in open. 5% is the real clients who want your expertise and vibe. You'll face this. You need to be very, very targeted. And this is what I came up with Thought Leadership, which is it's a Kimya discovery sessions that I run. The mission is to first inspire 11 stakeholders. So a lot of people are into vanity metrics. I have 1,000 followers, 2,000, 10,000. But how many likes do you get or engagement? And you will see the difference. Better than that is to have 11 people who really believe in you and they promote you. Because from that 11, the numbers start growing. And always organic growth is better. So what is discovery is basically a connect to community. It's your reader, and you can just translate it into retail experience and you'll see the same thing. Your business goals, so it has to be aligned. Your unique style, I do an editorial gap analysis, and your thought leadership. That is the end result. Now they say innovation is the idea to convert ideas into invoices. So I can do all these fantastic things, but if I was not making money, and some months it was not easy, but I thought I have to stick to this. So this is a discovery I did for a book, where I did an editorial content discovery for a book, and that book is now published on Amazon. This is a client who's a banker, he's written, I have always been a non-social media person. You can see it here. And you can go to LinkedIn and check this. And he went on to signing a retainer with me and doing a webinar. So now he's a regular retainer client. These are other people who worked with me, professionals. She's an Arab. She's into pharma regulatory consultancy. So as you see, I'm not stuck to just doing content for people in a particular space. I have just opened up to all clients simply because I come from a business journalism background. Here's a lady who used to be a Six Sigma black belt, and she wanted to get back into sustainability consulting. Now, this is the retail study that I was telling you. I got approached by to create a content strategy for a perfume store. The images are taken off internet, so please excuse the quality. This was the scope of work. The agency told me that the client is not having much footfall, and we want you to create like a storyboard. So if you go to the mall, you'll have first this board and then this board and this board. And Sona, can you create a story that will lead to the perfume store and make the person curious? So I thought, okay, great idea, but let me check out what the reality is. And again, this is something I would urge you when you go into your careers is, check ground reality. Don't live in an ivory tower where you think that everything is perfect. Check it out. So what I thought is, let me understand the CX, the customer experience. How does this perfume lover reach this store? Because it's a famous mall here, I'm not naming it. And there are many stores in that area because it was segmented. And so I wanted to understand, what we call the user journey. Now, what the lessons I learned is, there are two ways to reach the store. So if this client, the agency wanted to do the storyboards from one side, there was another side, which means the expense would be double and they had not thought it through. Second thing is this store was behind another store. So obviously it was set up for failure. Even if the person reached till then, they would be waylaid by the stores in the front. They had no content strategy. They were just using the content from their global office. They had not made it localized. The salesperson was very hostile. So this itself was like so even if you made it to the store, now you had salespeople who did not think you were good enough or dressed well enough, they wouldn't attend to you. And the worst thing that worked against their favor is there's a great sales team in the next store where I actually spent 1 hour because I love perfume, because the guy was very good over there. So this is what he did. This guy, and this is that perfume, he started telling me, so this is how a perfume lover buys perfume. He told me the story of, Annick Gottal and how she made this for her daughter. And he went into this details, and he started, and he didn't even force me to buy anything. And I was so caught up, and he told me who are the celebrities who bought the perfume. Now I know that if I go back to that mall, I will definitely go and check, because I do buy perfume. And what I'm coming to is that it is narratives. This is my tagline of the company: narratives connect people. Now here's another experience: street and retail learn from the masters. Now I cannot do this, but you could go to my Instagram account and I'll send the links later. So just long and short is, there's a momo seller in Banaras. I go and hang out there once a year. I can't do it now, but I do it once a month every year. And he was selling momos, and it's this whole attitude. I shot it in Hindi and just put subtitles. And this is street and it's a retail experience. So, you can learn from the masters. You don't have to be in a mall. Just look at how people sell on the road and how they sell, even in these niche areas. So this is what I do is, I'm not just about business. It's the other thing that's very important. They call it ESG, environmental, social, and governance. These are things that you need to look at going forward. I used to lead the Dubai. I was Dubai lead for Thomson Reuters. I've been involved in fundraising and volunteering since 1996, where I started recycling campaign with children in the building. I've learned, like I said, filmmaking, travel filming, photographing, cultures. I've presented at Exposure, which is an international photography experience in Sharjah. I've also presented why women must travel, alone, and this 1-minute stories on Instagram. Something that I believe a lot is the UN Sustainable Goal number 11, which is sustainable cities and communities. And I've also been involved in grassroots policy recommendations to the Indian consulate here in Dubai. This is new urbanism, which all of you have to look at, because your audience is digital, it is physical, it's on WhatsApp and Telegram, because now if you notice, there are companies which have a business account that opens up on WhatsApp. Now, my next vision is to volunteer for AI testing, because, I want to look at creative solutions instead of just data. These are 2 films, which obviously I can't present, but again, I'll send the links later. This is how I started in 2020. Now, this is what I'm coming to, not just agility. I started going beyond my own comfort zone. So I thought, as a consultant, if I'm telling people content is not just blogs, it's also webinars, it's podcasts, it's videos. So I started experimenting. I said yes, and my first webinar was to India, to the Confederation of Indian Industries. And you can see that I got this message from LinkedIn saying, congrats, your post has been trending. But then I went on to give a podcast about original content strategy. I started pushing. I gave a talk at Dubai Silicon Oasis last week, which is the free zone where I am based, which was on turning threats to opportunities, because that is what they were interested in. I also led a panel discussion on future leadership, the ability to lead through disruption, because I realized that this is what people want to talk about. As you can see, this is the panel. There are people from different countries. It was a hybrid event. I got an award as an appreciation. This is Sheikh Dr. Said bin Tanoon bin Mohammed Al Nahyan. He's from the ruling family from Al Ain in Abu Dhabi. And like I said, may I have many more? I've said yes to new experiences, and here I am. So these are my 4 tips that I'm winding up with. what I call agility or jugaad or hack tips. First is 360. Look at life around you. Like, it's okay if you don't always look at the books, look at life around you. And this includes even your mom. You know, suddenly if she has, say, 1 kilo chicken, and if 20 guests come home and she adds potatoes and other things to it, and she like amps it up, then your mother is the original jugaad queen. So look at her. Look at hybrid models in business, how businesses are, implementing, how they are, what you say, running the business, sorry, right now in this kind of environment, and how they're forced to adapt themselves, because Amazon is taking over a lot of what you call mom and pop stores. Be bold and experiment. And this is my favorite one: fail upwards, which means you can fail, it's fine. But fail upward, which means don't get stuck at the failure, go beyond the failure. These are the things that you will be taught in your course. You need a strategy, obviously, plan a roadmap. You need to evaluate the USP. You need to clearly define your target audience. This is very, very important. And you need to reevaluate this. And on a tactical front, you need to break it down to quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily steps. Balance work life. If you fail, step back, unlearn, upskill, and reskill. So don't stay in that comfort zone or say you failed. You need to reinvent yourself and stay accountable. So if you're an entrepreneur, do speak with someone and tell them what you're doing. And this is the most important thing, which I feel, is respect. Stay humble, and like respect your mentors, respect your professors. And jugaad is also, you use peer group, mentors, and community experience to tackle the market disruption, which means it's all around you. Draw on other people's experiences, talk to your seniors, talk to corporates, ask for a mentorship. This will make a lot of difference in your life. Like I said, my favorite UN SDG is 11. And I believe in this mantra, which is people plus planet is equal to profits. That is going to be the sustainable business model going forward. And at last, this is what my company means. It's from the Arabic word alchemia, but it's known as alchemy, a magical process of transformation. And this is what I'm going through right now. So with that, I end my presentation. So Dr. Prashant, over to you.
Thank you, ma'am. That was really a wonderful presentation, wonderful, you can say, insights that we have brought from this particular session. So,
Yes.
guys, I would like to, ask you, now you can just put your questions. If anybody wants to ask any question to ma'am, you can put your question in the chat box.
So I know it's lunchtime. It's lunchtime. I'm sure everyone's hungry, but it's fine. If you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box, and you can also connect with me on LinkedIn later.
If anybody has question, you can put it in the chat box.
So I guess there's nothing.
Yeah.
So Dr. Prashant, if you or your colleague, you need to ask anything.
Yogita ma'am, would you like to ask anything, or you want to share something here?
Just a big thank you, ma'am, on behalf of Symbiosis University Indore. And our students are really honored to listen to you. Thank you, Prashant sir, for giving us the opportunity.
It is actually my honor. Thank you then.
Thank you.
So I'll send the links with Dr. Prashant, and do take a look at it. Basically, the links are just to explain why you should disrupt yourself and keep experimenting all the time.
Sure, ma'am. Sure, definitely.
Okay.
Ma'am, you can see some wonderful feedbacks are coming for this particular session.
Yes, I'm seeing some of it.
Yeah. Guys, please put your feedback in the chat box. I will request everybody to put their feedback, register their feedback in the chat box.
Thank you, Prasad. Thank you, Neil. And feel free to connect on LinkedIn. And we can always have a session later, catch up.
Sure. So thank you, Sona ma'am, for your experience and in that insights that you shared here, and it would definitely be very valuable for the holistic development of our students. And I'm hereby thankful to you on behalf of Symbiosis Skills and Professional Universities School of Hotel Management. We all are very grateful to you for all the efforts that you have put into this particular session and sparing your time out of your busy schedule. We are very thankful to Honorable Chancellor of our university, Dr. S.B. Mujumdar sir, Honorable Co-Chancellor, Dr. Swati Mujumdar Madam, Honorable Vice Chancellor, Dr. Ashwini Kumar Sharma Sir, Director of School of Hotel Management, Dr. C.J. Rajendra Prasad Sir, and all the other faculty members, students, and the other members of management. We are thankful to all of these dignitaries for giving this platform to us to organize such a wonderful session. And of course, thank you very much, ma'am, for accepting this invitation. And definitely we are going to bother you frequently in the future as well with new topics, new concepts that you can just come and share here for our students.
Yes,
thank you, ma'am.
Feel free to bother me. And I've seen some students, it's like all popping up. Thank you. Thank you, Yogita and Parth, Ishan, Anvesha, Shubh, Priyanshi, Kriti. Thank you, all of you. Thank you for staying through this, giving up your lunchtime again. And I'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.